Good evening and welcome to the Wildcat Sports Network. I'm Donald Tucker, the voice of the Wildcats. We're taking on crosstown rival Springdale tonight, and we are bringing in a very special guest to give us their take on tonight's game. Plus, we will recap last Friday night and bring in Coach Wood to talk about the keys to success. Today is October 2nd, 2015, and Wildcat Sports Network starts now. Last Friday night was not only a game to set the conference play, but it was homecoming, a 100-year-old tradition that few really know the true meaning to. Ashlyn Brothers was on the field, and here is her story.
Friday night, the anticipation. 6 maids, but only 1 queen. Homecoming has arrived. However, what does it really mean? I took a personal interest in this story, and here's what the fans have to say about it.
I believe homecoming brings every culture of the school together as like band, choir, and any other sports. For example, we use football a lot at our school, and bringing in like football, choir, and band, and lighthouse, and all of them brings it together and it makes it more fun.
The celebration of homecoming dates back over 100 years. And with the 100th year anniversary, this homecoming means something more than just a football game.
Homecoming to me is basically, it's like the perfect opportunity for the student body to just come together and remember why we love HAR-BER and why we love this school. It's so fun to kind of revitalize our school spirit and just enjoy HAR-BER.
100 years of tradition and celebration means honoring those that exemplify the true meaning of HAR-BER and represent its pride and excellence.
To be nominated for Homecoming Court and then be coronated the Queen, it's a really awesome experience. I didn't expect to even be nominated, but to be crowned the Queen, it's just really cool feeling to know that people actually would vote for me.
We welcome back alumni as new traditions are set and memories are made. Congratulations to Emily Carpenter. It was a hard-fought battle for both teams, but HAR-BER takes away with yet another win. For WCSN, I'm Ashlyn Grace Brothers.
Thanks, Ashlyn, and congratulations to Emily Carpenter, our 2015 Homecoming Queen. We also want to thank our alumni for coming out and continuing their support for the Wildcats. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, Coach Wood will break down the last Friday night. Stay tuned.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
It's a community bank that really reaches out to the customers to make them feel special. I feel special every time I come in here.
They want to be involved in the community and want to be a part of the community.
They support our university, our athletic department.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year if we needed.
I see them at a lot of our Hispanic community events that we do.
I can't think of another bank in the city that has such a big community presence as Arvest.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
This is Jack. And this,
I am starving,
is Jack's appetite. It's never satisfied.
I'm hungry.
Seriously, dude?
What?
Then Jack's mom started serving Tyson Anytizer snacks. With all white meat and lots of protein, they're the only snacks that make Jack's appetite disappear. Tyson Anytizer snacks. Consider snacking solved.
Welcome back. Here with us now is Coach Wood. Coach, let's talk a little bit about last Friday night. After watching film, what are some of the things that you were happy with, and what are some of the things that you thought we needed to focus on this week?
Well, I mean, I go back and once you get into the film and look at it, I was pleased offensively with us. We scored on 5 of the 8 possessions. We really didn't have much time of possession, but we were effective when we had the ball. I mean, we had the series right before half, which would have been a little bit cleaner. Second series of the second half, we had pretty much a 3 and out on that, and then we had, of course, the turnover going into the red zone. But overall, to be able to score on 5 of 8 possessions is not a bad job. Defensively, I thought we played pretty good. We ran to the ball, tackled well. They did have the drive in the second half, really ate up time. And that was more of an alignment deal. Defense staff fixed that at halftime, and really that didn't cause us any problems in the second half. So overall, first week of conference play, I was pleased with our guys.
Good. Let's take you back a little bit to Friday night. The game against Rogers. Luke Hannon, we're on the 2-yard line. Luke fumbles the ball. Rogers recovers it. The next offensive possession, you're right back with Luke Hannon. You didn't shy away from it. You went right back to him play after play to drive downfield. What's your thought process there?
Well, I mean, things happen. I mean, these are high school kids. I mean, they're not getting paid to do this or anything. They play it because they love the game, and in the course of that, you're going to have ups and downs, and the kids are going to make mistakes. I trust Luke. I trust all those kids that play for us. They don't intend to fumble. They don't intend to hold or have penalties. They're just playing as hard as they can. And you know what? The corner came in from the backside and knocked the ball out. You know, it's one of those deals where we preach ball security, and they made the play on that, and we didn't come up with it on the positive end. But we were pretty resilient after that. And you know, Luke's a kid. He rushed 1,400 yards as a junior. He's a leader on our team. We're always going to give him the football.
Right. I know it's hard to go back to your previous teams, but how does this team compare to some of the teams that took you to Little Rock to fight for the title?
Well, I mean, you know, each team is uniquely different, and I think overall this team, you know, there's past teams we might have had better offensive units or better defensive units, but I think this group as a whole, I think we've got a little bit of everything. I do think we've got to get better at special teams. That's an area that's kind of plagued us all year. But from an offense and defense, being able to work together, playing situational football, it's a pretty good group. But you never really like to compare previous groups because each one's uniquely different. Who you're playing is different. The skill set of those other teams, and that's what makes every year so unique at the high school level, is because it's a revolving door with the talent, schemes, and what everybody's doing. But this is a pretty good old ball club.
Okay. All right, Coach. Thanks for being here. Let's take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have a very special guest from across town give us the insight on tonight's game. Don't go anywhere. Wildcat Sports will be right back.
Do you need new tires? Do you want a price match guarantee? Do you want to wait in a newly renovated waiting room? Do you want tire services at any time with no appointment? Then Tire Tracks is the place for you. With our price match guarantee and the largest inventory of new and used tires in the area, we have tires for every budget. Tire Tracks, Northwest Arkansas's largest independent tire dealer.
Welcome home to Lindsay Living. Affordable rates, available on-site management, attitudes of service, and amenities unmatched make residents love where they live and play. From value-packed basic apartments to resort-style living on golf courses, we manage options to fit your needs and wants. Apply online at lindsaymanagement.com for locations throughout Arkansas and in surrounding states.
Welcome back. Here with us now is Zach Arns, the voice of the Bulldogs. Here to kick things off, let's get a little insight. Zach, tell me a little bit about the Bulldogs.
Well, we're a young team. 16 sophomores are currently in the 2 deep, and it's those sophomores are getting a lot of playing time right now. They're not just getting garbage time reps; they're getting quality reps, and they're participating. So we're inconsistent through 4 games. We haven't quite put all 4 quarters together just yet, but they're getting better. They've gotten incrementally better each week, and they finally got through and broke through for a win last week. And the sophomores are a precocious group. They're real talented, but as you might expect with any sort of young team, they're inconsistent. They have breakdowns here and there, but the future's bright on the east side of town.
Good. So tell me a little bit about what concerns you about the Wildcats tonight.
Well, and talking with Zach Clark, I mean, schematically, they're not very different offensively. Defensively, there's been a slight change in schemes. So, the coaching staff's very familiar with it. What does concern Coach Clark the most is, frankly, HAR-BER's got really good players. And, Springdale's in rebuild mode, and they're coming. They're getting better each week. But, HAR-BER's where Springdale wants to be. And, it's just, Springdale can't get caught, deer in the headlights. That's probably the best way to put it. It happened at Greenwood in the first quarter. Springdale got their feet on the ground, played really well for the rest of the game. That's probably what concerns the most young players in a big situation rivalry game. That's probably the biggest concern right now.
So we play at your home tonight. It's really, it's one town, the same town. Is there really a home field advantage for the Bulldogs?
I'll tell you what, and first game was 2 weeks ago against Bixby, Oklahoma. They were one of the best teams, or are one of the best teams in the state of Oklahoma right now. And yes, there is a definite home field advantage. Students are right on top of you. The dog pound is, they are live and they are well, and they do make a great deal of noise. It's, you know, I mean, you mentioned stadiums are basically the same, and they are. The press box is basically the same, but there's just something about that home side with all the red and white, and it does make a difference. And the players play better. And for 3 quarters against Bixby, we were right there with them, had just, 2 or 3 series that got away from them, and that was the difference in the ballgame.
All right, well, let's throw it back to Ashlyn, who took an inside look at Rivalry Week.
Rivalry Week. Crosstown rivals compete to be the best in the city. The football classic here in Springdale, Arkansas, with the Gerald Williams Stadium remodel, the Wildcats feel a little more at home than usual.
There's nothing better than a crosstown rivalry. I mean, everybody grows up and they play against each other from the time they're in little kids ball and then all the way through junior high. And so some of that rivalry and action is deep-rooted in what's happened in the past, and then you get to fulfill it as a senior. Your senior year, you get to go out for the last time and get after those guys.
With a literal duplicate stadium, Gerald Williams not only brings the community closer, but offers a home away from home.
I'm glad to have a stadium. It's good for the town. The best thing is that we both have stadiums now. For years, we were out here on a dirt surface, and we didn't have anything. They finished ours, and it's been nice playing at home. And I know for Springdale, them having the renovations is nice for them too. And the big deal is just the community supports football and supports athletics in town, and that's the reflection. That's why you have 2 stadiums that are the caliber that they are. So.
I don't see it as an away game. I see it just as a home game because, it's not very far apart, and that's where home is to me on that field because I've been playing on it for a long time.
The Springdale Bulldogs and the HAR-BER Wildcats have been battling for 10 years, and regardless of the new fields, one thing never changes: the emotion and battle between the two.
Springdale's always a big game because it's a big rivalry, and we always want to go beat them more than anything. Springdale's always a tough game because they play the hardest during that game. That's usually the best game they'll play.
It's going to be a really exciting game. I think both the crowds are going to be, excited about it. It's going to be intense. And thing with Springdale and HAR-BER is, no matter what the records are, it's going to be a tough game because we're big rivals. And no matter what the record is, everyone's going to play as hard as they can.
10 years of pride and excellence. 10 years of tradition. 10 years of Springdale. And whether you win or lose isn't as important as the relationships built. For WCSN, I'm Ashlyn Grace Brothers.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Let's take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will jump right into our 2-minute drill. Don't change the channel. This is something you won't want to miss.
Hi, I'm Susie Everett with Everett Chevrolet. You've heard me say we have a better way to buy your new Chevy. If you've not been here to find out what that means, I want to invite you to come see us. You'll love the way we do business. And you can shop our great selection of the North American Truck of the Year, the Chevy Silverado, with the best V8 fuel economy of any full-size truck. Family owned, customer friendly, Everett Chevrolet in Springdale, I-49 at Elm Springs Road.
Hometown. That word still means something here. It means we're neighbors. We do the right thing. We care about your family. And you deserve the very best every time you walk in the front door. Harps. Hometown fresh.
All right, here we go, the 2-minute drill. Offensive yards, who has the advantage?
We go with Springdale for a couple of reasons. Number one, HAR-BER's not seen a multi-layered passing attack like they're going to see tonight. Zach Clark's, literally an offensive genius when it comes to this stuff. Springdale's got the best offensive player on the field, number 3, Kyler Williams. He opens up a lot of other areas for Springdale to go to. Tight end Cam Dickerson's a budding star. Hunter Necessary, very, very talented slot receiver, along with Trevor Browning and Nick Parchman. These are all guys that are interchangeable parts. The passing game is clicking. It's one of the best in the conference. Plus, I think they found something last week against Rogers Heritage with their offensive line. They've reshuffled it a little bit. I think Lucky Banavong, Eric Mendez, and gosh, you're going to love J.C. Medina. J.C. Medina is a really good running back, big play waiting to happen. And, I know we disagree on this, but I think Springdale's got the best quarterback in the conference in Jack Lindsay. He throws darts, he doesn't turn the ball over, and he gets the ball to Kyler early and often. I'd look for that early. If Kyler hits a big one early, game on.
Yeah, I completely disagree. Fuller Chandler, 14 touchdowns so far this season. We're 3-1. We played nationally ranked teams coming into the conference play and went toe-to-toe with them. Beat one of them, almost won the first one against Webb City. We have a balanced attack. There's 3 fantastic wide receivers, seniors that can, that put up big numbers, big touchdowns. We have a balanced running attack. One of the conference leading rushers from last year, coming back this year for his senior year. He's got 6 touchdowns. You don't know where to attack from. And that's one of Har-BER's advantages is that we can run it at you, we'll run it at you, and if we can throw it, we'll throw it at you. But we're going to score a lot of points. You have a lot of yards, absolutely, but Har-BER has a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns.
We'll agree to disagree.
Defensively, who has the advantage here?
A week ago, I probably would have said Har-BER, but tonight, I'm going to go with Springdale, and I'll tell you why. Springdale's made some adjustments up front. They've reshuffled their defensive line, and Manny Martinez and Francisco Arroyo, 2 huge defensive tackles, very difficult to move out of the way, had monster games last night. We've got a young guy named Garrett Thresher now on the defensive end. Chris Aravelo is a very savage rush end. And then backing them up are 2 young linebackers, Mason Hutchins, Sam Robinson, and Dylan Sizemore, that are simply run stoppers. That's what they're there for. They're big guys, they're mobile, they're agile, and the best way to describe Sam Robinson, who's really the heart and soul of the defense, is he's absolutely relentless in chasing the ball. At the 3rd level, the secondary level, Springdale's young, but boy, they've got a young man in Jaden Minshew playing free safety, covers sideline to sideline. Jaden's as athletic, as fast, and as hard-hitting as they come. You're going to see him a lot in run support. I expect them to blitz a lot and get to the quarterback, and that's why I'd say Springdale's got an advantage defensively.
So I disagree with that as well. Springdale does have a great offense. They put up a lot of points, but they don't score. Har-BER does a great job of stopping people from scoring, which counteracts, not being able to score, makes it twice as hard for Springdale to get in the end zone. They have a huge defensive line, all seniors, except for one sophomore that's enormous, that plugs up the middle. They have stud linebackers, Noah Hayward, Jacob Robertson. Jacob Robertson leads tackles every single week in the 7A West, the toughest conference in the state of Arkansas. And he's back behind a 3-year starter, Austin Henderson, who does nothing but hands out interceptions and owies to the running backs and receivers. So, you have Blaze Brothers and Brighton Cook on the other side. They're sophomores, but they play like veterans. They play like 3-year starters. We had nationally ranked teams come in and attack them and try to expose the weakness. They rose to the occasion. They shut them down. So it's not an issue. The defense is solid. They've been solid the whole year. They played together the whole year, and they're gelling.
2 things. You, as a former defensive lineman, know enormous equals slow, and your corners have never seen anyone like Kyler Williams. Leads the state in receiving.
All right, we'll see. Who comes out with a win tonight?
Well, I looked at the lines today, and obviously 3-1 start for Har-BER is great. You're ranked in the state. That's wonderful, and everybody's going to pick Har-BER, but not so fast, my friend. This is a rivalry game. Last year was 40-35, and Springdale was an 0-10 football team. This team's better coached. They have better athletes, and I'm telling you, Kyler Williams is a playmaker. I like Kyler close, but I'll take Springdale 31-28.
That's interesting because the team last year went 3-8, Har-BER did. This team is 3-1 already this year. They have a lot of starters coming back, obviously. There are a lot of starters playing. Their non-conference games were huge. I mean, they're tough. They're the toughest in the country, and they come in and Har-BER got better and better and better after playing them. So there's no way that Springdale even gets close to Har-BER tonight, and I think it's going to be closer to 42-7. So
my good friend Chop Sanders once said, "There's nothing more frightening than a crazy person with a cause, and we're crazy."
I couldn't agree more. Zach, thanks for playing along. We're going to take one last commercial break, hear from our sponsor, but when we come back, we'll have Coach with us for final thoughts on tonight's game. Stay tuned. Wildcat Sports Network will be right back.
Chevrolet has the longest lasting, most dependable full-size trucks on the road. And at Everett Chevrolet, we think the slogan, "Find New Roads," couldn't be more at home than in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. The 2015 Silverado has the most fuel-efficient gas V8 ever, perfect for those long drives in the country. And for those new roads that are hard to find, Silverado's rugged power will pull you through. Family-owned, customer-friendly, Everett Chevrolet in Springdale.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
They took the time to get to know us personally.
They're like my financial counselors through all of this.
I was able to call her anytime I needed.
I enjoy them and I love them and they're like family to me.
You can't get through the door without somebody saying hello. I've tried.
They made me feel at home.
Like a house you walk into and you feel like you can put your feet up on the furniture.
Have you ever actually put your feet up on the furniture?
No, I haven't.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
Here we go. Kickoff is just a few minutes away, but first, Coach Wood is here to break down the Bulldogs. Coach, Springdale's off to a better year this year than they were last year. They had a big win last week. What are the things that concern you about the Bulldogs as you play them tonight?
Well, I mean, you know, one is they play extremely hard for Coach Clark and his staff. They got them really just playing the game the right way. Anytime you can be 1-0 in conference is huge. We're both 1-0. This is a big game. We've got to be able to steal a game on the road. Springdale High did that last week. Now they're trying to protect their home field. I mean, I think Coach Clark's one of the better offensive minds in our state. He did a fantastic job all those years at Fayetteville. There's a reason why they'd won so many state titles and went so deep and have the record they had is because, you know, he ran that offense and called a lot of that stuff. And he's bringing that same brand to Springdale High. I mean, I think Lindsey at quarterback's he's one of the top, you know, 3 or 4 quarterbacks in our league. What's unique this year is there's some really good quarterbacks in our league. So, I mean, so to be up in that group says a lot. I think they got an outstanding receiver, but just he's a matchup guy. He's always giving his guys an advantage. It's going to be really difficult for us tonight. Defensively, I think Coach Hood, their D coordinator, has done just an outstanding job of getting 11 guys running to the football. They play aggressive. They don't back down from you. They'll press you in some man. They'll play man. And that's kind of carrying that motto of just being a tough ball club. And I mean, they're doing things right, and it's evident in how they've getting better each week. They won their first conference game. Good ball club.
So we're going into conference, the second game, the second week of conference. What do we need to do to get a second win for conference?
Well, one, we've got to clean up. We've got to clean up our kicking game. I mean, we just can't have turnovers in that. Can't make mistakes in that. We really got to flip field position when we can. Turnovers, I think, will be key tonight, both ways. I mean, if whoever wins the turnover battle will have a really good chance to win this game tonight. And then just being really effective on third down, I think, is a big key.
Excellent, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Stay tuned at halftime for our halftime show. For Superintendent Dr. Jim Rollins and Athletic Director Wayne Stellick, I'm Donald Tucker. Stay tuned. Up next is Kickoff. We'll see you next time.